Once upon a time in the great city of Rome, there lived a young man named Lucius. He was not from a wealthy family, nor did he hold any special position in society. But Lucius had one great dream: to become famous. He wanted people to know his name, to admire him, to speak of his deeds long after he was gone. Every day he would walk through the crowded streets, watching senators and poets and gladiators receive cheers and praise. He wondered what it would be like to be one of them. One evening, as Lucius sat by the river, an old man approached him. The man wore a simple cloak, and his face was lined with years of wisdom. "You seem troubled, young one," the old man said. Lucius sighed and confessed his deepest desire: to be famous, to be remembered. The old man listened quietly, then smiled. "Come with me," he said. The old man led Lucius to a small school where philosophers gathered. There, he introduced the young man to the teachings of the Stoics. At first Lucius was confused. The Stoics did not praise fame or wealth. Instead, they spoke of virtue, of inner strength, of living in harmony with nature. "Fame is an illusion," the old man explained. "It is not in our control. People may praise you today and forget you tomorrow. Why chase something so unreliable?" Lucius frowned. "But if I am not remembered, what is the purpose of my life?" The old man placed a hand on his shoulder. "The purpose of life is not to be remembered by others, but to live with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. These are the things that truly matter." Over time, Lucius began to understand. He saw how men who were once celebrated fell from grace. He watched as the crowd turned against their heroes when they made mistakes. He realized that fame was like a gust of wind. Here one moment, gone the next. The Stoics taught him to focus on what he could control: his own actions, his own character. One day, a famous poet visited Rome. Crowds gathered to hear him speak, and Lucius watched from a distance. The poet's words were beautiful, but Lucius noticed something else. The man was anxious, always looking for approval, always fearing that his next work would not be as loved as the last. Later, Lucius met him in a quiet garden. "Is fame everything you hoped it would be?" Lucius asked. The poet sighed. "No, it is a heavy burden. The more people admire you, the more you fear losing their admiration." Lucius thought about his own life. He was not famous, but he was free. He did not have thousands cheering his name, but he had peace of mind. He had learned to judge himself by his own standards, not by the opinions of others. Years passed. Lucius grew older, wiser. He never became famous in the way he once dreamed. But he lived a good life, a life of virtue, helping others, studying philosophy, and finding joy in simple things. When he looked back, he realized that the old man had been right. Fame was not the key to happiness. True happiness came from within. One evening, as the sun set over Rome, a young man approached Lucius. "I want to be famous," the boy said, just as Lucius had once said. Lucius smiled. "Let me tell you a story," he said. And so he began to share the wisdom of the Stoics, the wisdom that had changed his life. The story of Lucius teaches us an important lesson. The Stoics believed that fame and popularity are what they called indifferents, things that are neither good nor bad in themselves. They may come and go, but they do not define who we are. What truly matters is our character, our actions, our ability to live with virtue. Think of the famous people you know. How many of them are truly happy? How many of them are at peace? Fame does not bring wisdom. It does not bring inner strength. Often it brings only more desire, more hunger for approval, more fear of losing what one has gained. The Stoics remind us that we should not seek validation from others. Instead, we should focus on being the best version of ourselves. If fame comes, let it come. If it goes, let it go. But never let it control you. Never let it be the measure of your worth. In the end, the only thing that lasts is the goodness we cultivate within ourselves. That is the Stoic view on fame and popularity. It is not about rejecting recognition, but about understanding its true place in life. Fame is not the goal. A life well lived is. So ask yourself, what do you truly want? To be admired by others, or to live with integrity, with peace, with virtue? The choice is yours. And that is the greatest freedom of all. And so, the story of Lucius ends not with great fame, but with something far greater, wisdom. And perhaps, in the end, that is the best way to be remembered. Not for the applause of the crowd, but for the quiet strength of a life lived well. The Stoics knew this truth long ago. And now, you know it too.